the city, we run the
team. Welcome to DopestLove. Hey, shout out to I'm your man, King Dopest. Y'all know me, King Dopest, the one and only, along with the beautiful and talented
Dopest Melanin.
She in the building. Queen Dopest, the first person in the house. I see you, Queen.
Hey, Queen.
I see you, Queen. We're going to play this theme music for a couple minutes so we can let some people get up in here. Shout out to everybody out there. I hope y'all had a great and fabulous Tuesday, February 16th, 2021. Man, I'm a little disturbed today. We're going to get into it, though. I had to put my hat on backwards.
Not backwards.
Backwards. It's serious. I think we got an interesting topic for today. I'm pretty sure let me do this too. Alright, let me put it here. Hey, Queen.
Queen in the building.
Queen is in the building. Let me see something.
Hey, the baby.
The baby is in the building.
And guys, as you're coming in, make sure you share it to your other, social medias. Share it, like it, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Alrighty then. Welcome to Dopestology, y'all. Today we are talking about why Black History Month is important. Okay. It's such a crazy topic to me, but I guess it is a topic that needs to be addressed because you do have a segment of people, not only other races than brown skinned people, but you have brown skinned people as well feel like Black History Month really is not needed. We shouldn't have it. It makes it to where we stick out. It divides us instead of unifies us. You've had celebrities such as Morgan Freeman say such. So I want to set the record straight as far as my opinion and my beliefs. Before we dive all the way into that, Melanin, wanted to tell you about a certain celebrity.
Yes, guys. So, and this is so disheartening because when I came across this, I was a bit shocked. And this is an artist that, is one of my favorites. And what made it so shocking is that this artist is also biracial, and she began to express her viewpoints about brown-skinned people.
Right.
But it's disheartening, very much so. But we're gonna go ahead and play it for you so you guys can see who we're talking about.
Here we go.
So can you let me talk?
You have to understand, Black people are not the only people that have been oppressed.
So if
They
you would
are
let me
not
talk,
the
that would
only
be.
ones, my nigga. Jewish people have been oppressed. Okay? Well, I can keep going. I'm biracial, damn it. We fucking oppressed. Because black people that made us feel like shit. White people make us feel like shit. You don't know that life. You don't know that. So if you want me to be an ignorant ass nigga, I will tonight. I don't want to go there.
I'm not sure. I think you're.
But I think you need to understand, sugar, that there is more to life than just being black, baby.
That was Kiki Wyatt, singer, reality TV star. Now, I'm in agreement with some of her comments. As far as blacks weren't the only ones oppressed. Yeah, I get that. A lot of ethnic groups have been enslaved. We talking about right here, right now. Okay. I ain't heard of no Jews being racially profiled, pulled over, beaten. None of that. Okay. Okay, this is what I wanted to say. Because somebody brought this to my attention yesterday about the word African American, right? And they said to me, aren't we all just American? I get that. But have you noticed that any ethnic group that resides here in this melting pot that we call America, they refer to themselves as Mexican American, Italian. I'm an Irish American. I'm German American. What is African American? Germany is a country. I mean, we're gonna do a quick geography lesson real quick. Okay. Mexico is a country. Ireland is a country. Africa
is a continent.
It's a continent. So that right there should tell you a little bit something about the ideology behind African American. We're lost. We're in a country where we have no culture. Most black people, unless they heard it from their people, they don't know where in Africa they came from. If you see a Nigerian that comes here from Nigeria, he will be quick to tell you, I am Nigerian American. If he's a Nigerian immigrant, if you have somebody from China that comes here to the United States, I'm Chinese American.
Mm-hmm.
We here already. A lot of us was already born here. The only culture that we have is attached to this. Okay? Our black history. It's the only culture we have. I was fortunate. I was born in Africa, East Africa. I know my East African heritage. I know my people. I know their food. I know everything. Everything that we have in America, the traditions that black people have in America are all brought forth from slavery. All of them. Barbecues. Slavery. What do you think? I was thinking, like, what's some things associated with black culture here in America?
Let's not talk about holidays.
And then you got holiday. We steal people holidays. St. Patrick's Day is not our holiday, America.
It's not.
Cinco de Mayo is not our holiday, America. Let's see what Amanda got to say real quick. I know my son being mixed but labeled as African American asks me questions all the time about white people, worried whether he should be classified as white or black. He says he is himself. And I would agree. I would agree. I think that's a place we all want to get. Okay, I'm married to a Irish woman. Okay, I'm married to an Irish woman. When I met her, I put this on everything I love, my mama's mama. I did not look at her and say, this is a white woman. When I met my future wife, I was dating a Mexican woman. I never gave two shits about none of that. I'm going to just be honest. Does that mean I don't care about my heritage? As y'all can see, I fight for my peoples every day. Not some days. I don't take days off. I fight. I know. I got knowledge of self. That doesn't prevent me from loving somebody else, learning her culture. Right? It just seems to me fairly ignorant for anybody to have a problem with Black History Month. I just gotta get this off my chest because I've been in a kind of funky mood the last couple hours, and I want unity. Do we exist in a place? America is a melting pot of immigrants, right? Most people, though, they came here, what do they say? Seeking a better life. We didn't come here seeking shit. We didn't come here seeking nothing. We wasn't fleeing from beautiful Africa to come to America to be enslaved. You're right. I think if you have a problem with Black History Month, you should, because it's an ugly history.
And you can't have American history without Black history.
You can't omit it.
You can't omit the two. You can't say, it's not Black history is not important. You can't have one without the other. Events that have happened in previous years, how can you omit it? You can't take an eraser and erase it and it goes away. No, it happened. It was real. So you can't have it without having the other. Period.
Because this is a really, because I like to keep open mind when it comes to anything, especially things like this, because I don't have hatred in my heart for nobody, period, especially based upon the pigmentation or they heritage or ancestry. I couldn't, it just doesn't even make sense to me. Okay, first of all, let me make that point clear. Second off, the only way that Black History Month can be divisive to some is if you don't understand the plight of those in which it affects. Like if you, okay, let me use this for example. If I don't like basketball, I can't tell Kobe Bryant, while his picture's popping up behind me, Kobe GG. I can't tell Kobe Bryant that basketball ain't worth a shit. Basketball is everything to him. If I tell you, I put a picture up here the other day, I had 3 different people say, King, who's that black lady that keep popping up on your slideshow? I said Shirley Chisholm. As y'all know, she was my first honoree of Black History Month. If I walked in the house right now and my child knew who Shirley Chisholm was outside of me and she learned it from her teacher, I wouldn't be having this conversation. You know what I'm saying? If Booker T's and the Marcus Garveys and the Haile Selassies and all these people, Andrew Shermer, he Jewish. If all these people, they in the history books, it's something bad. Put something good about my people in the history books. Not the ones that had to just fight for civil rights and the ones that had to do the marches and the ones that got assassinated and hung and beat. If you really want to celebrate and we unified, put the good shit in the history books of all the inventors, of all the doctors, of where medicine and mathematics came from. Instill that. They don't want to do that, though, because it tends to let a kid believe that, oh, man, this black kid could be just as smart as me. They don't want you to think that.
That's true.
The state of hip-hop, and I'm on one right now, y'all, so bear with me. The state of hip-hop. Y'all, if you've been a loyal fan to Dopest TV, y'all saw I did a big show honoring the 2 heroes that died in the Kenosha shooting. They were trying to save lives of this 17-year-old punk that was out there with an assault rifle that the police and military, just National Guard, just let walk by, right? I did a show on that. My show got took down. But yet I could go on YouTube right now and click on NBA Youngboy and him walking around with 15 assault rifles with his little son right next to him, drinking on codeine syrup and talking about killing 100 niggas. And that got 170 million views. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out what's going on. I'm not going to look. The one thing you can't do to King Dopest is double talk me. Because when you can show me where African American is the same as Mexican American, German American, Irish American, those are all countries. Only thing we have to identify with is a whole fucking continent. A whole continent. A whole continent. Because we can't even identify to whom, what tribe we belong.
Absolutely.
Everybody's mixed. Miss me with the, I'm done. I'm biracial and all this. Everybody's mixed. Y'all don't know who slept with who. Just because your auntie said the postman ain't your daddy don't mean he ain't. The postman still may be your daddy.
The milkman, anybody.
The milkman. She might have lied to your daddy about who she slept with when she got pregnant. So your whole family tree is fucked up based upon a lie. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. I'm this, I'm that. Everybody got a percentage of something.
And that's true. But even history tells us that, you know, we birthed their children. You know, we birthed as slaves. They birthed their owners' children. Sometimes they were, you know, so at some point you're not 100% anything.
Right.
You're not 100% anything. And me personally, I just feel like even me growing up in grade school, I didn't feel like I actually got a fair study of my African American, whatever you want to call it, history until I got to college.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what I was taught, everything else I had to be raised with, you know, from my culture, my people. But it wasn't until I got it wasn't until I got to college where you actually study a specific thing that you introduced to this. So our children are at a disadvantage.
Right. I just, this touches home because I got so much love, like for real, for everybody.
Everybody.
I just don't feel like this is an issue. It's 30 days. It's far too little. If anything, everybody should be going out their way to celebrate this month a lot stronger than they do. Being that this country was built on the hands and the backs of the poor people, the people that were, it wasn't just us that was built this country. Chinese people were enslaved here too. Oh yeah. Them Chinese people, they built the railroads, and people jump on Amtrak and they get on these metro rails and all that. They built the pipeline along with us. Chinese people sure did. We get this, like Lily Queen said, the shortest month of the year. They give it to us and they still complaining. Y'all gave us the shortest month, and we still. This ain't just Black history; it's y'all history, man.
This is for y'all, just to say y'all gave us something, but you didn't give me anything. You can give us anything.
I mean, I think the least that can be given is 30. I wish it wasn't 30 days. I wish it was part of the everyday curriculum in the school system. You know, that one day down the line, you don't have to hear from about Dr. Sebi from Nipsey Hussle. That's a shame. Yeah. That's a shame.
Great man.
You had to learn from about Dr. Sebi from who knew. I mean, you know, you guys got your conscious brothers and sisters out there, but I'm talking about the masses. Well, nobody paying it. You know, Nipsey died. Oh man, he was working on this thing with this brother named Dr. Sebi. I've been knowing about Dr. Sebi and other brothers like him. Love Dr. Sebi. That's right, Queen Dopest. I feel like we African Americans have always been searching for the same thing that Mexicans and Nicaraguans, even Haitians, even the Jamaicans, you know, they stick together. They, you know, oh, you from my country, you my people. We don't have that. We don't have that. You know, they stripped us from that cultural bonding. You know what I'm saying? They stripped that because we don't have no sense of that. Where you
this
sit down.
Was built on division. So it was from the very beginning, we were, you know, divided, segregated, all these type of things. So it's no coming together. And even for our own people, you know, we don't have that sense of culture.
And I feel like, you know, you think about gangs and all these different things. It's like we always trying to, and it's like we built up this whole other culture. You know what I'm saying? Like we built a culture from nothing. You know what I'm saying? I think about Jay-Z on the one song where he says, you know, we eat chitlins because that's what they discarded from what they ate. But we made it into a whole meal. And you know, I think about things like that. Like, we had to create that. So now, like, chitlins is a big event. Oh, somebody cooking chitlins? They don't really know that come from, like, the slaves being hungry. They didn't have nothing to eat. So we gonna give you the intestines is full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you, Queen Dopest. We gonna give you the intestines that's full of bile and feces. You clean that out and then you can eat. Like, people gotta really wrap your mind around that. That's our Black history. That's our culture. That's the culture that we can grasp from. Wrap your mind around that. Eating what somebody wants. So tell me what other cultural things that we can grasp here in America as African Americans. Because you got us attached to a whole continent, which all over the continent, they celebrate things differently.
Very much so.
My mom is from Eritrea. I was born in Ethiopia. Eritrea and Ethiopia is right next door to each other. They don't get along. They was at civil war for Eritrea fighting for their independence from Ethiopia for years. They look a lot of the same. They see each other. They consider each other their peoples. They got totally different cultural and ethnic rituals and you know what I'm saying? It's different.
Ritual.
Kenya, Uganda, Sudan, South Africa's got their own plight. People don't know Ethiopians and Egyptians don't really get along. So you attach us to a whole continent, African American, a whole continent which don't even get along.
And it's interesting because some countries in Africa don't even they speak French.
Right. Well, they speak the languages
dialect,
of the people that came and conquered they land.
Correct. But that doesn't mean that they're the same from South Africa and East Africa. No, they're different. West Africa, they're all different in their own way.
Wyatt I'm gonna just tell you this. Kiki Wyatt is a moron, and I'm gonna tell you why. Every people that you know at one point had slaves. What? Yeah, every people. Who you think built the Great Wall of China? It wasn't motherfuckers that signed up for work. It was slaves. These people, these dynasties had slaves. All these great empires throughout civilization had slaves. Mm-hmm. The Africans sold their slaves to the whites. A lot of people think, oh, the white people just went over there and just started snatching people. They did that too. But a lot of times they negotiated with certain tribes that was at war with other tribes. Hey, we'll give you some of these new weapons from the new land. Guns, muskets, and different types of shit they never seen before. You give us a couple of them big brothers over there and a couple of them fine sisters that look like they could carry some shit, and you got a deal. It's documented. It's history. It's known. But we talking about here, right now.
In 2021.
I ain't never lived in the slave days. I've never lived in. I don't know what it would be like. I don't know what it would be like. You got people nowadays can't even take a couple little words on the screen. They blow up. Oh, they called me this. I was on live and somebody put something under my post and I'm so mad. What? These people was getting whipped, slapped, and raped, and killed, and hung, and what? Because we have no sense of self. See, I got a sense of self. That's what allows me to go out and love on everybody. Because I know who I am. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know who I am. So I don't feel like I'm betraying my people because I married an Irish woman and I got mixed kids. And then, man, my kids got a beautiful history. They got their mama history. They got my history. Most of all, they gonna know the love.
And that's universal in any language, by the way. Any country, any continent, that's universal. That don't have no geographical label to it. That's universal.
Little Joy said, "You can your whole effing life stay ignorant. Just shut the fuck up about it." It is ignorant to not understand how important this is to a people to have something to grasp onto. Something. Take your favorite thing and have somebody come take it away from you, right? You're going to realize how important that was. When we had our whole culture snatched from us. So Black History Month is the only semblance of time where we can feel like we got something to grasp onto that to make us feel like we got a culture. That ain't no culture. We created one from it. Turn dog shit into diamonds.
I just never seen her in this light, and I was very disappointed. I was very disappointed from her. I expected more.
And look, she did all that big woofing, and I want y'all to see and watch the fake Kiki Wyatt.
Thank y'all. I'm good. I just want to start out by saying that I am truly sorry about the way I spoke and what I said. And I feel like it could have come off way better. And, you know, at the end of the day, I am a Black woman, period. My white mother and my Black father raised me to be a Black woman, period. Hands down. I don't not identify with my mother because that's my mama. But at the end of the day, she raised me as a Black queen. My mother told me, you are a beautiful Black queen. You live in America, baby. That's a good thing.
Wow.
Woo, child. I had to sip on that one.
Now, is she gonna be mad? Look, and I agree again. What she says about biracial kids get an unfair shake, they absolutely do. But that apology, I'm gonna tell you why that apology don't fly, and I don't really see any contrition in it. I went today. It's part of because we do research over here at Dopest TV, Dopestology. We do our due diligence, okay? And throw that up there so y'all know. Hold on. My man got something to say. Did y'all wash y'all hands? If you did, hit the notifications, subscribe, like the videos, and welcome to Dopestology. Yeah. Little tiny dopest in the building. That's just in case y'all didn't know what to do. Hey boo boo. We did do some research on, Melanin. She's my associate producer, and she hits me up. I said, "What we doing today?" She sent me the topic. She hit me up later. Said, "Did you check it?" I said, "No, not yet. I'm getting to it." So I said, "Okay." As soon as I got the phone with her, I said, "Let me just do this and get this done for she be on my head, right?" So I went to YouTube. Typed in Kiki Wyatt on Bigo, because that's where she made these comments. I said, Kiki Wyatt is on Bigo? Now, I love Kiki Wyatt, the singer. If y'all listen to me when I do my slow jams, I play Kiki Wyatt. My boy Avant, that's one of my jams right there.
Classic.
But that thing where she was lashing out, that's a regular. She's doing that on Bigo all the time. So this little apology, she was like, no, this is the Kiki Wyatt that's on Bigo every single day. Because I went and looked, did my
Sarcastic.
So can you let me talk?
You have to understand, Black people are not the only people that have been oppressed.
from and you know what? Again, shout out to all my Jewish brothers and sisters out there. I don't think my Jewish brothers and sisters is going through the same things now. I don't. I think it's changed for their people quite dramatically. Okay, they bounced back.
Yeah, and
They kept their culture though. See, it's the thing about the Jewish community. They kept their culture. We didn't have no whatever spiritual rituals that we had. Those is gone. That turned into the first AME church. You feel me? Whatever spiritual rituals we had back in the day, that turned into the first AME church. We don't have. I couldn't tell you what my ancestors did. I don't see my friends practicing what their ancestors did as spiritual rituals. I'm sure it is segments of people that do get into their roots and do that. But I'm talking about as a whole is what we taught. I wasn't taught that in school. I didn't know Black people even I didn't know hymns and all these work songs. And I studied, and this is funny we saying this, because I actually studied this my freshman year in college, African American music. So and one of the first things we learned was about the work songs. And what the work songs evolved into. Okay. It's a beautiful thing. It's again a strong people taking dog poop and turning it into diamonds. It's the only things we had to grasp on. You still see it in the churches today. For the African American churches to this day, you still see the way they carry on and the loudness and the this, that, and the third, and it all derives from they making a bond through slavery and coming up with these ways to have some semblance of a culture. This is our culture. It's embedded in hate, savagery, murder, rape, poverty. So I get a little bit, I feel a kind of way. I do understand the argument on both sides, because you have a segment of people that don't want us to have anything that's black or white. But I made this argument about black entertainment television. People used to say that about BET. Why y'all gotta have y'all own radio? We all got 180 other channels. That's all you. And the first brother tried to buy one is sitting in prison right now. William H. Cosby. Sitting his ass in prison.
Yeah.
First person tried to buy one. I want one of these big networks. I want one of these big networks. Oh, brother, come here. We got a sale for you. I don't give a fuck how old you is. We got a sale sitting right over here for you. You think you finna own the station? So you see Oprah and them. See what Oprah and them had to go do. They had to go buy a cable network. They didn't get one of them 3 major stations. They didn't get CBS, ABC, was 4 now, but Fox didn't used to be like that. But, they didn't get one of them, Fox, ABC, CBS, or NBC. Nah, they had to go to the We Network and the OWN and these other things. Nah, you're not finna, But when we get one, and let me tell y'all something. BET ain't even owned by black people. Black people sold this decades ago. Guess who owned BET? Same people own MTV. So run, tell that. Know what you're talking about at all times.
Do your research, people.
Do your research.
Yeah.
That brother that owned the BET sold that long time ago. He went and bought a basketball team and some other things. He been sold that.
I mean, one thing that I just didn't hear in her apology was sincerity. Not once did she say, what I said came, what she said was it came out wrong, basically. She didn't apologize for what she said. She didn't apologize for how she felt. She didn't apologize for how she basically showed her ass, because that's not the person that we saw in that apology.
Yeah. What she basically said was it came out wrong. And I mean, like I said, some of what she said when she was lashing out, it's factual. But when you put things, and that's why the brother you see in the clip was getting kind of upset, is because he was like, you talking, but you're not really talking about the issue that we talking about at hand. You're rambling about something that, yeah, it's factual and it sounds good, but it has nothing to do with the here and the now. And that goes the same for this conversation. Why Black History Month is important. Us as a people need something to have as cultural reference. If you're not going to put it in the history books, if you're not going to promote it on your platforms as this one, just like I said earlier, you know what I did? And I'm really steamed about this because I did that Kenosha thing, and I'm a black man, but I really praise those 2 white brothers that went out there and put their life, and they gave their life. Not just put their life on the line. They gave their life to save a whole bunch of people that was out there peacefully protesting. I was really, if anybody was around during them times, I was really hurt that they flagged that video, because all the information I got that I put into that show, I took directly from news sources. Wasn't no made up opinions. It was me playing the clips and talking to my people about what transpired. But then I sit on my live stream on Live Me. Go download Live Me right now. Look up Dopest. And I play YouTube videos all day.
Yeah.
That's the music. That's where I play my music from. And I watch NBA Young Boys and 100 other rappers all day long talk about sex, drugs, murder. And these videos got hundreds of millions of views. And when you cut on YouTube, it's the first thing they put up there that they want you to see. The first thing. You promote this, but when a brother like me is speaking something, and they making a lot of money. They making a lot of money off of this, off these YouTube views. So you put money in the pocket of people like that, but when somebody want to speak some real stuff, you want to put them and flag them and scare them from putting it out there. I don't know. I found that kind of Joy said, frankly, I'm pissed off. I wasn't taught about certain Black history while I was in school. I didn't start to really learn about it until I was 30 plus. And I was doing my own. Now, you see what I'm saying? So let me tell you this. Just because I'm an open-minded person, I can't even blame white people. I mean, for the most part, I couldn't blame them. If you wasn't taught about it, then you ignorant to the whole thing. You know
Well, I
what I'm
guess
saying?
that's true. But then, the information that they do get is what they are taught.
It's what they want them to see.
It's a learned behavior. If you're saying that you never, you don't really know about it in school, you didn't learn about it in school, where did you build up this hatred for others? Or this ignorance, I'll say.
I don't think it's a hatred a lot of times. If you
sometimes it is, but that's why I clarified and said it's ignorance because they just don't know.
Yeah. Let me tell you. I was talking to somebody on the phone today about this. I promise. When you go and have an interaction with somebody and you tell the story to your friend and say it's me and I'm talking to you. We two Black people. Okay. African Americans. Okay. And I'm talking about somebody talking about this. 9 times out of 10, if it's a white dude, you're going to say, I was talking to this white dude about this same topic. You're not going to say I was talking to this person. And the same goes for white people. If they go to the store and say, hey, man, I ran into this Black dude down at the store. They're not going to say I ran into this man. It's the quickest and easiest thing
to identify us.
To identify and that separates us, right? Okay. Now, how that applies in school and curriculum. And I said this earlier. If you open a book and you see that white men found America, you see white men went to the moon, you see white men did this, white men did that, you build up a superiority complex. And the opposite is true of the people that aren't shown in these books and glorified for their brains and skills and knowledge and so forth and so on. You gain inferiority complex as they're gaining. Oh, we're better than you. We're smarter. We built Wall Street. We did this. We did that. You have no Wall Street. You have nothing in this country without Blacks. You have nothing in this country without Native Americans. You have nothing in this country without Chinese Americans. Nothing.
Correct.
Because again, what was one of the fastest, the things that helped this country grow the fastest? I'm gonna give y'all a shortcut right to it. The railroads. It was the fastest way we could start shipping goods and services from one part of the country to another, right? They didn't build that. Okay? They didn't build that. I remember that's one thing I did learn early on in school. It's crazy. That's one of the first things that stuck with me all these years until now, where I'm having the opportunity to really say that. It's the railroads. And I used to see videos of the Chinese and the Blacks working side by side to build the railroads across this country, right? Right? It wasn't just Blacks. It was both. Yeah, because a lot of people are still caught up with the racism part. And that's a, let me tell y'all, man. If y'all ain't figured out, that's a deterrent. That's the smoke screen to keep y'all blinded and keep us occupied talking about this nonsense right here, when it's always been about classism. Has nothing to do with race no more. Yeah, they use race because it's the easiest identifier. It's the easiest thing to say, oh, you different from me, I'm different from you. Right? Is whatever is going to interfere with the power structure is what they going to prevent. Period. I said this to somebody the other day. You know, the militias don't really like the government, right? And you got a lot of social activism groups. They don't necessarily like how the government and the system has been treating certain people, right? But they're not gonna see eye to eye and see like, oh man, we fighting the same fight. We want some kind of reform in government. We want some kind of changes made. Okay? Because I tell you something, if you look at militias, it's poor white people. Ain't a whole bunch of rich white people. It ain't Wall Street bankers that got little militias in it. They may fund some, but it ain't them. Go look at the insurrection again. Those are your militia members. Go look at the insurrection. The motherfuckers with the bandanas on and the long beards. And yeah, it wasn't rich people. It's a classist thing, man. Rich black people don't like poor black people. Rich white people sure don't like poor white people.
They don't.
You go show up to the Trump's house with a mullet and a cut off NASCAR t-shirt on right now with a can of Coors Light. He gonna treat you like an
And see, that's why I hate even discussing money, classism, and you have this and I'm that. No, we're all the same. If you cut me, I'm going to bleed the same color as you are. If you're hurt, I'm going to hurt. You're going to be hurt. I'm going to be hurt. That's no different.
I like the stories when they say, oh, this black heart is beating inside of a white man, or this white man's heart is beating inside. Your heart could save my life. As much as you think we different, your heart could save my life.
The color of your skin has
your
nothing
heart
to do
could be
with
pumping inside my chest right now. Yeah, man. It's all to keep a certain people in a certain, and this was created by the Rothschilds, and y'all could do y'all history on that. It's to keep that power structure, man. If I got the cheat codes to the game, I don't want to give them to you. Once I let go of them, if I'm the only one that got the cheat codes, it's up to me to maintain power and dominance of the game. And this is the game to them.
And that's why we will never be unified and come together. And that's why Black History Month is not celebrated as it should be. Because we can't come together. We can't.
Show someone that is dying 2 bags of blood and tell them to guess which one is white and which one is black.
Period.
Wow.
As long as you have the same blood type, that's what it matters. It don't have nothing to do with the color or pigment of your skin.
That was a good one. I like that one though. That was a good one. Joy Hush, you got all these little witty little things to say. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys subscribe. Hit that donation icon if you're willing. If you feel the need to support the broadcast. But more importantly, share it to some people, man. I don't care what color you are. People need to know, because I think the only way that you could be ignorant to something if you haven't been blessed with it. If you haven't been blessed with the knowledge of seeing it, hearing it, reading it, learning it. And I want people to understand that because I love my heritage, I love my history, it doesn't prevent me from loving you. We don't have much to grasp on in terms of culture and history in this country. As long as we've been here, like I said, everything that I've known growing up that was taught to me was how we were brutalized, and so forth and so on, and oppressed, for lack of a better word. So it's good to have a month, even if it is just a month, until one day they do fix the curriculum in schools and people are taught more about us than we were slaves. We're a lot more than that. There's a lot of brilliant people that are our people. They're your people too. It's not Black history, it's our history. This is just one part of it. It's like we had to study all the other shit that we found out was a lie. Oh, Christopher Columbus, he didn't even discover America. I remember that was the first lie I found out from school. I think that was the first one. Y'all had me believing that. I got to high school and I started reading up on my own. You know what happened was,
in the same for the 4th of July. That's not our holiday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That did nothing for us.
So, but again, you know, it can't be no issue with Black History Month, and we celebrate all these other BS holidays all throughout the year. President's Day, right? When we had a bunch of presidents that were slave owners. Is we gonna keep talking about this? Y'all don't want to hear this though. Y'all don't want to hear this because it messes up your mind frame about what it really is. President's Day. So is we celebrating all of them or just the ones we like?
I still don't understand. What you supposed to do on President's Day?
So yeah, man. I remember when in the 80s, in the late 70s and the early 80s, Kwanzaa got real big.
Juneteenth all the way.
Kwanzaa got real big in the 80s, right? And I remember this same conversation. Why y'all want to celebrate Kwanzaa when we got Christmas and this, that, and the other? Is people don't understand. Is, like I said, we lack an identity. And instead of others being so critical of that, it's a time for people to use empathy and try to understand. Like, look at your life. If you're not Black, well, look at your life and tell me, do you know your history? Do you know from which you came? Like I said, I'm fortunate. But you can ask a bunch of Black people, hey, man, you African American, but what part of Africa? I don't know. I know my people from Africa, though. I'm very fortunate in that regard. It's a lot of people that are. But this is one reason why there's a disconnect between real African Americans and Blacks that were born here in America. Because Africans look at us like we lack culture. We lack the things that make them them. Upstanding and, you know, we lack that. We seek that in entertainment and other things where other cultures, they have a go-to for spirituality. They have a go-to for, we've adopted. We've had to adopt. And like I said, make things work for us. So that comes with, it's some hurt in that. It's some hurt in that. You know, it's some hurt in that. Hey, Big Art, what's up, my G? Definitely. Yeah. It's a touchy subject. I do wish, as my man, I talked to my bro Chris last night, man, and Chris was saying we were having this conversation, and I definitely respect his viewpoint about unity and can we get rid of the but when it becomes a more level playing field, I feel like we can have that conversation like for real. But everything is still so lopsided that, like I said, when it comes to media, when it comes to banking, when it comes to retail, when it comes to agriculture, I mean, we can go down the list.
Everything.
We on the bottom of the totem pole. And I mean the bottom. I mean the bottom. Because like I said, you got sectors of Haitians and Dominicans and Puerto Ricans, and they all know their culture. You can see it. You watch them when they have their little festivals and and all that. They got a sense of culture, man. They got a sense. I'm Dominican. Oh, yeah, they get into their thing. I love it. I love it. Puerto Rico. Hey, you name all these people that have brown skin. They live here in America, but they do have some semblance of culture. But you have a whole, and I'm going to say the majority of Black America has no idea. Because like I said, it's the only ethnic group where they name a whole continent instead of a country. When you could tell me why they do that and change my view on that, African American, that people don't say I'm South American. They say, hey, I'm from Bolivia. I'm from Brazil. I'm from Guatemala.
Yeah.
That's like Mexicans saying, I'm Mexican North American. Because Mexico is part of the North American continent, right? Okay, just a little geography lesson for y'all to keep on and wondering why we African American. It's self-explanatory. We have nothing to grasp onto but a whole continent. We don't know our history. We don't know from which all of who came from where. They messed that up. So unless you came here straight from the motherland and you like second or third generation here in the United States, it's a good chance, man, your family tree has been disturbed. Somewhere along the line, it's been disturbed.
Somewhere up in there.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I can't live my life being angry at nobody. I got one life to live. I'm gonna live it loving. I'm not gonna live it filled with hating nobody for nothing, really. Because you can't turn back the clock and wish I said, oh man, I wish I would have lived a more loving life. I wish I would have lived a more understanding and empathetic life where I could understand what my fellow man, my fellow human being is going through. So for those people that don't understand why we need Black History Month, I hope I was very clear today. I wanted to be very, very clear on my opinion as to why we need Black History Month. It is needed. And until they fix the school systems and the curriculum and teach these kids that there are very important figures in Black history throughout time, other than fucking Jay-Z and Kodak Black and NBA Youngboy, then maybe we can have this conversation and it'll turn out a different way. My point in that was, if we all Americans, we are united not to take something away from anyone. We all are all Americans.
We're all
definitely.
American. But our sense of culture is low.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all American. We don't have the same. We don't share the same
I think the other thing too is if Black people don't step up and we celebrate Black History Month, who's gonna teach? Who's gonna teach? We can't allow the schools to teach. We have to teach each other. We have to teach our own. They're not gonna teach it. We went over that already. I just had Joy. She grew up in Orange County, California. Republican County, predominantly white. And you heard what she just said. She didn't start learning about Black history till she was in her 30s. And she was self-taught. And she ain't no dummy. So obviously it wasn't in no books. That's the reason Black history is important. We do need to take the time out to understand who Lena Horne was, who Rodney King was. Lena Horne is mixed. She went through the struggle as a biracial, like Kiki Wyatt said.
Mm-hmm.
She went through it, but these are the times in which we live, and I hope in no way do people think that because we have this is that we want to be divided. We really wish we were included. But if you're going to include us wholeheartedly. Okay? We want to be included. Let me state that again for all black people. We want to be included. We've been fighting to be included. We had to fight to be included to vote. We had to fight to be included to use a bathroom. Now we want to be included in the history books, okay? That's because that's what it's called, Black History Month. It's not Black People Month. It's Black History Month.
History, yes.
Use it as an educational tool instead of a divisive thing. Use it to take the time to go teach some of your friends, if you are white, to teach your friends about a black person that you may have just found out about. Although I did watch Roots in 8th grade only because my history teacher was black. I bet he got in trouble for showing it. On that note, you got anything?
No, I think we summed it up. But thank you. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. But yes, we should be celebrating our history every day of the year, every single day.
And real talk, like I said, for those people that have different opinions of mine that don't change, I love y'all. I still love y'all. God made us individuals.
Love is lit in every language. It's the same.
Yep, love is love all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, but because it's so I feel like America's biggest failure was not creating a culture that united us. America should have a culture as all other, and as you notice, we don't. Every state got their own, and that's why it's called the United States, because we all separate. We were all separate. So even the states in the United States have different cultures unto themselves. I talk to Shy on the phone sometimes. She be talking about ordering and eating certain foods. She's like, you never heard of that? I'm like, nah, they ain't got those out here. When I lived in Chicago, it was the same way. Hey, let me get a beefy Italian. I ain't had a beefy Italian. I never had heard of that until I went to Chicago. So that's the beautiful thing. That's the beautiful thing, is that America is a melting pot where you could, if you wanted to, really learn and appreciate other people's lifestyles, their values, their cultures, their histories, because I've learned about mine. I've got more learning to do, but along the way, I'd love to learn more about the Irish plight, because I didn't know nothing about Irish was slaves, and I was learning something. I got to learn something, that they was looked at as second-class citizens as well when they first came to the United States. They lived in the slums of New York, of Boston, Massachusetts. You know what I'm saying? You learn something. I got to, in doing live streaming, y'all see me all the time. I'm in there talking to my Indonesian. Satu hati, satu cinta, tukita. I love Indonesia. You know what I mean? I love Argentina. I speak to all of them. Y'all see that? I be trying to pick up more little language and knowledge along. Oh, that's what y'all say? Oh, man, what you eat? Oh, okay. You got different marital practices, different family configurations, and different cultures. We've been made to talk that what's here is what's right. That's another topic for another day. That is a good topic, though. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to write that down. Yeah, but I love you guys. If nobody told you you're important, have value, worth, you mean something, and most of all that they love you, King Dopest and the One Love family definitely love you. I love you, Big Arc. Thank you for coming in. That's my G right there, Big Arc Boss, all capitals. Shout out to Big Arc. I love you, my G, and I love you, Melanin. And I will talk to y'all on the flip side. Hey, we will not be having let me think about this. We are not having Dopestology tomorrow because we have 2 global shows. Coco Goddess and my man Chris. They both have global shows tomorrow. I'm amped up. Shout out to Chris being named most valuable broadcaster on Live Me. He really put the smash down on Live Me, man. So
He did that. Less than a month.
Less than a month. I got none but respect. None but respect. He put the work in. He deserves it. So again, no show tomorrow. What's Wednesday? We'll be back Thursday with some of this good brain food. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all taught me something. And we out.